Jai Om Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astuttara Srimad His Divine Grace Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I read from the phone because I cannot read Hindi. Three 26:53. Yeah. That's the verse. Yeah, 53. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Cheva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Varnaishtiki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter 26, entitled Fundamental Principles of Material Nature, text 53. I think I'll be reading 3 verses, and which one should we recite together, the first or the final one? Huh? Okay. Hiranmayadanda koshad uttaya shalileshayat tamavishya mahadevo bahudha nirbhedakam. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Virat Purush, situated himself in that golden egg, which was lying on the water, and he divided it into many departments. Text 54. Nirabhidyatasya pratamam mukham vani tato bhavat vanyavani nase pranoto ghranaetayo. First of all, a mouth appeared in him, and then came forth the organ of speech, and with it the god of fire, the deity who presides over that organ. Then a pair of nostrils appeared, and in them appeared the olfactory sense, as well as prana, the vital air. Purport. With the manifestation of speech, fire also became manifested, and with the manifestation of nostrils, the vital air, the breathing process, and the sense of smell also became manifested. And text 55 we can recite together. Granadvayurabhityetam Granadvayurabhityetam Akshini Chakshuretayoho Akshini Chakshuretayoho Tasmat Suryonyabhidyetam Tasmat Suryonyabhidyetam Karnos Shrotram Tato Dishaha Karno Shrotram Tato Dishaha Granadvayurabhidyetam Akshini Chakshuretayoho Tasmat Suryonyabhidyetam Karno Shrotram Tato Dishaha. Please chant. Karno Shrotram Tato Dishaha. Granadvayurabhidyetam Dakshini Chakshuretayo Granadvayurabhidyetam Akshini Chakshuretayo Tasmat Suryonyabhidyetam Karno Shrotram Tato Dishaha Granadvayurabhidyetam Akshini Chakshuretayo Tasmat Suryonyabhidyetam Karno Shrotram Tato Dishaha. Granat from the olfactory sense. Vayuhu, the wind god. Abhidyetam, appeared. Akshini, the two eyes. Chakshuhu, the sense of sight. Etayoho, in them. Tasmat, from that. Suryaha, the sun god. Nyabhidyetam, appeared. Karno, the two ears. Shrotram, the auditory sense. Tataha, from that. Dishaha, the deities presiding over the directions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god who presides over that sense. Thereafter the pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came the sun god, who presides over it. Next there appeared in him a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and in its wake the devatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. Purport. The appearance of different bodily parts of the Lord's universal form and the appearance of the presiding deities of those bodily parts is being described. Maybe you can tell him to be quiet or we can go out. As in the womb of a mother, a child gradually grows different bodily parts, so in the universal womb, the universal form of the Lord gives rise to the creation of various paraphernalia. The senses appear, and over each of them there is a presiding deity. It is corroborated by the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam and also by Brahma Samhita that the sun appeared after the appearance of the eyes of the universal form of the Lord. The sun is dependent on the eyes of the universal form. The Brahma Samhita also says that the sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Yachakshur Esha Savita. Savita means the sun. The sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, everything is created by the universal body of the Supreme Godhead. Material nature is simply the supplier of materials. The creation is actually done by the Supreme Lord, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Under my direction does material nature create all moving and non-moving objects in the cosmic creation. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savajitang Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatade Shatarine. Granadvayurabhidyetam akshini chakshuretayoho tasmat suryo nyabhidyetam karno shotram tato dishaha. In the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god, who presides over that sense. Thereafter a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came the sun god, who presided over it. Next there appeared in him a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and in its wake the Devatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for giving opportunity to recite Srimad Bhagavatam for our purification. Thanks to Rasananda Prabhu for inviting me to visit Bhopal. I'm very enlivened to be here. I was mentioning yesterday at the base program in Vrindavan, I was just reading in a book which was describing the history of Krishna Balaram Mandir, and it was very moving to, if you see the Krishna Balaram Mandir today, and if you actually know how it all came about. And I was mentioning yesterday when I came here, it immediately reminded me of that history of Krishna Balaram Mandir. Krishna Balaram Mandir, if we go today, it's basically the center of Vrindavan. It became the center of Vrindavan, but previously it was in the outskirts and there was nothing. And over the years it developed in that way. And in a similar way also I can see this property here. This temple is very remote now, but I'm sure in a few years' time this will be the center of Bhopal. Hare Krishna. So it's very enlivening to be here, because when I came first and I was offering obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, I was thinking Srila Prabhupada must be so pleased that again another temple is opening in India, another ISKCON temple. Srila Prabhupada, he established many temples while he was on this planet, but then by the effort of his followers, many more temples came. And Srila Prabhupada, he wanted to establish these temples primarily for educational purpose. You know, he speaks about it in the 7 purposes of ISKCON. We hear how he had a desire to educate people, and temples being centers of knowledge where people can come and learn about reality, to understand who am I, what is this world, what is the purpose of life, and how to become happy, all these questions. And we know Srila Prabhupada, he wanted to achieve that by providing Srimad Bhagavatam to the whole world. He spent so many nights translating, sacrificing his time, energy, his sleep to translate Srimad Bhagavatam. And naturally he established a daily Bhagavatam class every day in each temple. And when we read these verses, like we read today, we can see how profound Srimad Bhagavatam is. There's many scriptures in the Vedas. You know, the Vedas are unlimited, an ocean of knowledge. But the Srimad Bhagavatam is the cream, the topmost scripture. And even among the Gaudiya Vaishnava scriptures, there is many. But Srimad Bhagavatam was established by Mahaprabhu as the supreme scripture. And we can see here it's very scientific. It gives a lot of understanding in that particular section. We hear how the universe has been created. Srila Prabhupada, he often spoke about the rascal scientists, right? It was very heavy. Because the scientists, what they try to do is they try to understand how did everything come about. And they do that by making uh, experiments, by using their senses, and by creating instruments so they can improve their senses, and they try to understand these the reality and get the answers of these questions by using their pratyaksha and anuman. But we know from the Vedic scriptures it will never be possible to understand reality by using our senses and our mind. Therefore, the highest Praman is Shabda Brahman. If we hear from a source which has perfect knowledge, absolute knowledge, and the Vedas, they give us this understanding, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, we have a few verses, especially two come to my mind. Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyante Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabhaha. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Mata Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Man Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. There is one more, but I couldn't remember. And it's very striking to hear that Krishna says the person who surrenders to Krishna always understands that actually everything is coming from him. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Ahang Sarvasya Prabhavo Mata Sarvam Pravartate. Everything comes from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Bhagavatam starts with the verse Janmadya Asayataha. And the whole Bhagavatam tries to prove that point, that Krishna, the blue cowherd boy who lives in a place called Vrindavan, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if we wouldn't have 9 cantos before the 10th, which actually speaks about Krishna, we wouldn't understand that how is it possible that this small boy is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We would misunderstand. And therefore the Bhagavatam, it speaks about 10 topics, Sargo, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, all these different topics, just to lead to the ultimate Ashraya. And Prabhupada, who does read Srila Prabhupada's books in English sometimes? I think you do, yeah. Srila Prabhupada has had an amazing ability to translate the books into English language. When we read his books and we carefully look at the words he's chosen, we can see that he's empowered to do that, because many of the words he's using are sometimes they're a little bit uncommon, meaning they are not used in an everyday life. But he was so expert, he would pick these words in order to actually bring out the real meaning of the verses. So he translated the Ashray, the supreme topic of, meaning the Ashray, where all other 9 topics are based upon, as summum bonum, which can be translated as something like the ultimate summum good. And in this way, Prabhupada very mercifully gave this knowledge in English language, because for us who don't know Sanskrit or Hindi, it might be easier in Hindi, no? Because I assume in Hindi many of the words are kind of similar, so you can grasp the understanding much easier. But for us, it's not so easy, no? If we hear a word like Ashraya or Poshanam, Sthanam is like, maybe Sthanam we can understand, stand. Yeah. Yeah, because some of the words are very close. All the languages, they come from the Sanskrit language. So we can understand that sthanam, what it speaks about, but many of the things are not so easy to understand. So Srila Prabhupada, he was very expert in translating these scriptures. So the Srimad Bhagavatam tries to lead us to the summum bonum, to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his pastimes. But they take us through different levels, and here we hear about the Sarga, the creation. These are the first two topics mentioned, Sarga Visarga, the creation, everything that happens until Brahma's birth, and then from Brahma onwards, how he creates all the different living entities. That's called Visarga. And here we hear that's before how Krishna expands into many, many different avatars, and eventually it comes to Mahavishnu, Karanada Vishnu. And Karanada Vishnu, he is the Supreme Lord who takes the role of creating the universes by laying on a causal ocean and by breathing out of each at least the empty and he lays on that sweat. And then we hear how he slowly creates all the ingredients, and then Brahma, who after a lotus flower grows out of Garudakasha's navel, then Brahma is created. Then he starts to use all these ingredients and put it all together. So, like when we go to the kitchen, we don't produce the water, the flour, the salt, the chili, and all these different things. But Krishna has provided, we just take them and make a sabji out of it, or a chapati, or whatever. And in a similar way, Brahma, he just takes all the ingredients and he makes all the different species and creations. And then Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, he again expands into Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, who again comes into this, he's situated in the universe, and he's situated in every atom, in the small atom, how do you call it? Alu is atom, and in every heart of every living entity. So these three Purusha avatars, and in this way, Krishna as Vishnu, he actually creates and maintains this material universe as well. But I was listening to a class of Srila Bhakti Charumash the other day. He was saying it's interesting to note that all of these Vishnu avatars, they are called Shai. Karunakashai, Karunakashai, and Shiranakashai meaning lame, no? And what means lame? You're not doing anything. He was making that point.
all of them are lame because all of them are actually not doing anything. They're not involved. They don't come to this world to do it. They don't have any mission. They don't have any purpose. But they have to be here. They have Vishnu has to be present. Without his presence, there is no way that this universe can exist. So in this way, we try to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and understand that sometimes we might feel a little bit, it's a little bit heavy philosophy. Maybe some of us, we are not philosophers. We are simple, at least I can speak for myself, I'm a simple person. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita there is a verse, and I forgot, probably many of you know, it says we shouldn't be lazy in trying to understand the Tattva. Yes, we shouldn't be lazy because it strengthens our mind. It strengthens our mind. And the more we understand Krishna is the source of everything, and that's how we do it. Now we can see, wow, everything in this world, for example, is dependent on the sun. Anything you see in this place, you think about it and you can trace it back to the sun. Like this table, it's made out of wood. Wood comes from a tree. A tree grows because of sunlight. Or the phone comes from oil. No, some part of it comes from oil. With oil, they make all kinds of plastic things and stuff. Where does the oil come from? From plants, and at least that's what they say. And plants are growing from the sun. Everything, if you trace it back, the flowers, the rain, the water, everything comes from the sun. And in this way, Prabhupada says we should try to develop our Krishna consciousness to always see the connection to the Supreme Lord. And the Bhagavatam is training us, training our mind to always see everything connected to the Supreme Lord. And specifically, if we speak about universal creation, Sarga and Visarga Srila Prabhupada, I was reflecting this morning, I didn't have so much time, but I was reflecting, how interesting it is how Srila Prabhupada had this desire to create a temple of Vedic planetarium, where, at least what I have seen, they have a model where they try to show how this universe is actually being created by Krishna, ultimately, and how it slowly goes down here. Why? Now they are building the TOVP, and hopefully soon it will be complete. Why did Srila Prabhupada put so much emphasis on that? Because he wanted to people come and understand that actually where we are now and everything that is created here is coming from Krishna. So it's an interesting fact that these sections of Bhagavatam, the third canto especially, and then the fifth canto, or the fourth canto, fifth canto. Fifth, yeah, where the universe is described more elaborately with the different planetary systems. The universal creation, the Vedic cosmology. So these are the major sources for the Vedic planetarium. Srila Prabhupada as an Acharya knew that this kind of knowledge is very much needed in the forefront of our movement to actually show the people we are not just some sentimental people. It reminds me, I was doing Prasad distribution a few weeks back in Switzerland, and I was at a beautiful place at a lake, and I came across a group of 3 people, these elderly people, and these were Christians, a priest, and then some workers from the church. And so they asked me what I'm doing, and I explained to them I'm Hare Krishna. I was selling Prasad to them, and then this lady, she started to laugh, and I asked her, "Why are you laughing?" And she said, "Hare Krishna? Really? I mean, you could choose everything, but then you choose Hare Krishna." And I asked why. She said, "Yeah, you know, they're a little bit strange, no? They just wearing strange clothes and chanting and stuff." And I was somehow it really, I was thinking, my God, you know, we have such a philosophy, and the Christian philosophy is nothing compared to our philosophy. And they only see the outside. They only see we have a strange haircut, we put some thing on our face, and by that they think we are crazy. They don't see behind that. Srila Prabhupada sometimes encouraged devotees, especially in the West, to put on regular clothes because of this reason. He knew that it can become an obstacle. I'm sure you remember this purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita of Maharaj Prataparudra, where when he wants to meet Mahaprabhu, and then they advise him what he has to do, and one of the advices he gets is he should dress in a different way. And Prabhupada, he explains in the purport, here it is approved that sometimes as devotees we have to change our dress in order to fulfill our mission. So to come back to the point, Srila Prabhupada, he translated the Srimad Bhagavatam, he gave us this the jewel of Vedic wisdom, and every day we study, and for the purpose of understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that by surrendering to Him, our life will be perfect. And how do we surrender? By chanting the holy name. Prabhupada said a few times, actually, you don't need to read any book. If you simply chant, that's sufficient. And even Mahaprabhu, he didn't give much, he just gave the Shikshastakam prayers. Vidyavadu Jivanam. The holy name is actually the essence of all the knowledge. And so in that way it would be sufficient to just take shout of the holy name and to surrender to Krishna in that way. But the knowledge is there to help us to understand that we should surrender by chanting. And in this way, Bhagavatam, it will take us through all the 10 and then 12 cantos. Bhagavad Gita starts with saying we are not this body, and it ends with you should give up all your dharmas and just surrender to Krishna. And Bhagavatam takes off from that. Dharma, Prajita, Kaitava, no? You give up all these dharmas, and then it brings you to the ultimate dharma of chanting the holy name. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita, it shows how it is being done. And in this way, Prabhupada said these books are actually slowly, gradually giving us a deeper understanding. And so we should always remember that the study and everything we do is just helping us to chant. We should always take shout of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I was just in Vrindavan, we did the Rajmandal Parikrama, and this was probably my most profound realization I had, that I actually forget again and again the importance of chanting. And I was trying to really put it in my dull brain that Prabhupada gave us the holy name. He asked us to chant the holy name every day at least 16 rounds. Before I was the principles,
and then many more things. Now, but the chanting is the essence, and that's the way how we surrender to Krishna in this time. So, thank you very much for your attention. Hare Krishna. Why are you laughing? Because he just changed it? So maybe somebody wants to share some realization. I'm sorry that I come here and speak in English. I told Rasananda Prabhu, I always feel very bad if I come to India, because usually devotees, they speak in Hindi. I'm sure I saw the book, it's in Hindi. But then out of the culture, we invite the guests. And yeah, I'm sorry for those of you who didn't understand well. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then we can finish here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna.